So, you just started your YouTube journey and you need to get your lighting dialed in for your talking head style videos. We'll follow along and we'll get you looking like a pro in no time. If you're new here, I'm Scott Stevenson and I'm a DP and gaffer living here in Los Angeles. I've been working in the film industry for over 15 years. The past 6 years I've been primarily focused on working as a gaffer or lighting technician. I've worked with brands such as Kia, Amazon, American Express, Netflix, DirecTV, and Nickelodeon, just to name a few. In all my time working in this industry, I've learned what works and what doesn't when it comes to lighting. What I've found is, when you know the fundamentals, you can light for just about any situation. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about what lighting you should use for your YouTube videos, and most importantly, the why. So what are the fundamentals of good lighting? Well, the basic concept comes down to 3-point lighting setup. 3-point lighting consists of a key light, a fill light, and backlights, also known as a hair light or an edge light. A hair light primarily does exactly that, highlights the hair. An edge light comes from the side usually, and edges or creates a little separation between the subject and the background. There can be different ratios of contrast between the key, the fill, and the backlights depending on what style you're going for. In most YouTube videos, you can get away with a really soft key light and a hair light. Many times a fill light may not be needed depending on your brand or your personal style for your channel. So for the purpose of this video, we're not going to be using a fill light. Just 2 lights to achieve our results. When you're just starting out, you may not have the budget to spend on several lights to create your content. Even if you do have a large budget, can you get away with using affordable lighting units to get great results? I think so. I've used multiple types of lights on this channel over the years, and what I've learned is it all comes down to ease of use and control. The quality and the overall output of most modern LED fixtures are insane. They're so good compared to what we had available just 10 years ago. I just ordered what I think will be the perfect YouTube lighting setup, the Amaran 60XS. This is a small unit from Amaran, but it really packs a punch and has some really fantastic options and accessories. The Godox S85T Softbox. It's a really great value for what it is, and the size is just perfect for small studios. The Ulanzi inflatable tube light. Ulanzi's been really incredible for putting out super budget products for filmmakers, and I think they really hit it out of the park with this one. Let's see how well these lights compare to my pro level lighting fixtures. So I'm currently using a $5,000 LightMatte 2L Spectrum to shoot my talking head videos, along with some Aperture MC Pros that go for around $200 a pop. I know, it's a lot, and I am in no way recommending that you spend that kind of money on a light for YouTube. For this YouTube studio lighting project, I actually made a budget of $300, not including grip gear, just lights and modifiers, $300. I know I'm mentioning a lot of gear in this video. I'll be sure to put all the links to everything I talk about in this video in the description below. This video is not sponsored. I am not getting paid by any of these companies to give my opinions on these products. If I feature or talk about a specific light in this video, it's because I genuinely like some aspects of it. Now, with that out of the way, let's get into it. For this studio build, you're going to first off need a really good key light. And for our key light, we're going to be using the Amaran 60XS. This will serve as our key light. In my professional work as a gaffer, I always use my brightest light to serve as a key light. But in a small YouTube studio, I've noticed that I rarely need more than 60 watts of output to achieve a proper exposure. Pro tip, if you're using a light meter, try to dial it in to around 50-foot candles. One thing I notice is I rarely go over 40% on my 100-watt lights. Not needing a super bright light will help us cut down on cost. This light at the time of filming in early 2025 is only $160. I mentioned earlier in the video that what it takes to make a great light is ease of use and control. And one of the best ways to use and control Amaran lights is using Sidus Link app. Sidus gives you so many options when it comes to operating your lights remotely. Because this is a bicolor light, you can change things like color temperature as well as intensity. This light has various lighting effects built in, such as TV effects and fire. But for YouTube, we're going to stick around the 3500 to 5500 Kelvin range, depending on the other lights in your environment, or if you're trying to match daylight. If you shoot during the day, 5500 to 6000 might match your environment much better. If you film in the evening and want a more cozy, natural feel, you can warm up your key light to around 3500 to 4000 Kelvin. Remember, it all depends on the style of the video that you're making and your overall voice as a creative. These are not hard and fast rules, they're just guidelines. Next up for our key light, we're gonna need some kind of diffusion. And for that, I'm using the Godox S85T Softbox. I generally don't use softboxes on pro film sets, and if you're curious to see why, go ahead and check out this video right here. Softboxes are perfect for home studios where space is limited and you do not have access to additional grip gear. A softbox like the Godox S85T softbox is a perfect solution because it's much more shallow than other full-size softboxes, but is still larger in diameter compared to something like the Aperture Light Dome Mini 2 or 3. Those are great, but a bit too small. The Godox is the perfect size. Although it is compact, it is still a large source that diffuses and shapes your light in a very pleasing way without any hot spots in the middle. The reason for this is because it comes with 2 layers of diffusion material. This technique is known as double breaking a source. This results in very soft light quality. Just be aware that the Godox softbox does not come with a grid to help focus and shape the spill of your light. That's an additional cost. It's another $25, but don't worry, I'll leave a link to it down in the description to help you guys out. I highly recommend getting the grid because it definitely helps. Next up, we're going to be talking about the 2-foot Ulanzi 20-watt light tube. This is a fun light I came across doing some research on YouTube. It's basically a inflatable tube light that has a rechargeable battery inside of it and built-in diffusion. Inflatable lights have become quite popular in the past couple of years. At first, I thought this was kind of a gimmick, but the more I looked into it, I realized it was a pretty solid unit for using as a backlight or hair light or even an edge. Definitely easier to travel with than traditional lights as well. Also, the output is what I was most surprised about. There are 2 sizes that these lights come in. A 1-foot size that is 12 watts and a 2-foot size that is 20 watts. I went with the larger 2-foot tube that is 20 watts. This is similar to the 2-foot 36-watt Helios tube from Astera. Asteras are $500, by the way. Here it is compared to a $200 MC Pro puck light. This Ulanzi light is only $60. It charges via USB and can run on battery or with power delivery. Okay, so now we have some affordable lighting gear. Let's go ahead and put together our YouTube studio. First, let's start with our key light, the softbox, and the grid. Again, I want to remind you that the way that you should light your studio really depends on the tone of your channel. If your channel is more high key and bright and clean looking, you're going to want more of a high key setup. In a high key setup, you're going to use your key light in a more frontal position. This will allow the light to wrap around the front of your face for more even lighting. In contrast, if you want to have a more moody sort of look, what you're going to want to do is push the light off to the side to create some shadow and contrast on your face. In my opinion, this is a more dynamic look, and it's the kind of thing you see a lot in TV shows and movies. Lastly, we need to implement our hair light or edge light. The Ulanzi inflatable light tube comes with magnets to attach to metal surfaces. In my YouTube studio, I have metal racks behind my desk that I can use to attach the light. In your setup, you might not have anything magnetic in the right place, so I recommend getting a small light stand like this one off of Amazon. Once again, links in the description. With a light stand, you can easily mount the light and position it just off camera to create a nice back edge that will help separate you from the background and create that 3D pop in the image. It's really that simple, guys. So now you know how to set up your lights for your killer looking YouTube studio. So go out there and create that amazing content and tell those stories that only you can tell. Go ahead and comment down below what type of videos you plan on making with your new lighting setup. I'd love to hear it. I wish you guys the best of luck, and if you've enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a like. Once again, guys, I'm Scott Stevenson. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to check out some of my past videos as well as subscribe to see the future ones. Peace.